Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Clara Rose. And of course, I'm your host, Clara Rose. So if you haven't been here before, welcome. Every week I show up to give you either knowledge about being a more savvy author, or sometimes I bring on special guests who are sharing whatever they're doing that's unique in the world that I think you might be interested in. Often I'm just here teaching you something that I think you will find valuable. And today is one of those days. Today I'm going to talk about Canva. Now, you've likely heard me talk about this tool before. I use it in my own business. I use it in my husband's business. All of our staff use it in our business. It's just a piece of everything that we do. And then, of course, it is part of the Savvy Author membership. So if you're looking at the Savvy Author membership, there's an entire course in there about using Canva to create assets. So today I'm going to dive just a little bit deeper into some of the cool new tools that Canva has brought out. You may or may not be aware, but they recently rolled out some new fun things along with kind of a new look. Always takes a bit of time to get used to when they change things in a software and you're like, where did you move this or where did you move that? But I think they've done a really great job of making it more user-friendly than it was before. Of course, I am using the Pro account, which if you're using Canva, I just highly encourage you to have the Pro account. It's literally less than $15 a month. And in fact, if you pay for it by the year, I think you even get some free months out of that. So completely user-friendly, great tool. I don't get anything by telling you that. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not here to sell you Canva. I'm here to sell you on the idea of using Canva in your business, ministry, cause, or brand. It's just a really great tool that does a lot of really great things. Now, in the past, here's some things that you have likely seen me teach in Canva. Book covers. So if you're part of the Savvy Author family, we have either used Canva to create your book cover, or sometimes we use Canva to create images that go inside your book for the art program of your book. It could be that we did social media posts around selling your book. So that's all on the Clara Rose episode, all about book covers for authors. We've also done simple one-page websites, or some people call them landing pages, kind of the same idea. Somewhere down the road, Canva has talked about bringing out full-on websites. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty happy with what it looks like when you do a single landing page or a single page website in Canva. So there's a video all around that as well. And then there's some basics. So if you're landing here and you have not played in Canva before, this particular one might be more advanced than you need. Unless you're like a tech whiz that catches on to things really quickly, I would recommend going and looking at the Canva Basics video first. But let's jump into what we're going to talk about today, which is Canva Beyond the Basics. These are things that are not quite beginner things, but somewhere down the road, you're going to either find super valuable or they're maybe more advanced than you're ready for right now. But I want to jump in and show you some of the things I'm currently working on and some of the fun things that Canva can now do. So we're going to hop into my Canva account, and I've just thrown a few pictures on a sample sized sheet. So let's hop on into Canva and have a look at it. Okay, so what you're looking at right here is I just opened up I think it's a 5x6, something along those lines, mostly because the pictures that I wanted to throw in there for you are a new book that I'm currently working on with a client, Down with Pens. Super cute book for children, of course, and some of the cool things that I've done in here, I wanted to show you. Okay, so first of all, let's look at this first slide that I put together for you. And this, you'll see that the picture is not quite the right size. Whoops, I'm using a right-handed mouse and I'm very left-handed. So it's not quite the right size for this, and I did that on purpose because I want to show you this new tool that they've come out with. Notice when I click on the image, this little thing up here comes up. This is just all the things you can do with this particular image. You've highlighted the image, and that's what you're working with. You can change its position. So if you have something else on the page, you can push this to the back, pull it to the front. There's some animations that can happen. This is about transparency. If you wanted to put something over top of this image and make it partly transparent so you could see through it, that's where you could do that. The little flip tool. This is not great if you have words, but if you have images and for whatever reason you're not loving how it looks, this tool will let you flip the image around from it so you see it from a different perspective, even upside down. Of course, that's not appropriate when there are words on it, but I wanted you to see that that does that. Of course, we can crop it if we'd like to crop it. Do rounded corners if you want rounded corners instead of square corners, which sometimes is kind of nice. This gives you an ability to say how much you want it rounded, from very little to way rounded. So depending what you want to do with it. And of course, some borders, if you wanted to stick a border around it and how thick you wanted the border to be, just all sorts of things that you can do with this particular image. Then the BG remover, which is your background remover, is really great for headshots and things of that nature, where you're wanting the background to disappear because you want to put that image on something else. It's really great if you have a book, like a 3D looking book image that you want to remove the background, so you can drop it on your social media or your website. But today I want to play with this button over here that says edit. So let's click on the edit button. And this is all of the things that we can do with this picture. The one that I want to show you first, I'm going to scroll over here, is to the Magic Expand. Now, Magic Expand, so you click that. Everything takes just a little longer in here than I think it's going to. It will let you grab the edges this way. I think I want to grab it this way. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, now it's going all the way to the edges. So if this image didn't quite fit where I was trying to make it fit, I could grab those edges, click, Magic Expand, and then it's going to take a minute to do its magic. But in a second, you'll see how very cool it is that it can expand it for you. Now, this is great for those who are wanting to work with images, but you're not a graphic designer. These images were done professionally by an illustrator for my client. Now, when we got these images back, unfortunately, they weren't all exactly how I wanted them to be. So for instance, this one, okay, now see how it went all the way to the edge now? Oops, I've moved it. See how it filled in the, now it fits the space that I wanted it to fit. I keep moving it. So I really just added some blue around the edges for me. So now it fits perfectly. When the images showed up from the illustrator, they didn't fit. They actually were the wrong size. For whatever reason, there was a miscommunication and he created all of them in the wrong size. And so then we sent them back and we had them resized. But when the resizing happened, a whole bunch of weird stuff happened. And so we've had to just figure it out. Every time you send stuff back to your graphic designer, if you're working with a graphic designer or your illustrator, they are going to charge you for those things. So if you have a tool like Canva that can make some of those adjustments for you, that's a sweet deal because it's going to save you some money. Okay, so now we've expanded this picture, and that's one of the things I wanted you to see. Now let's go down to this next picture. So you'll see this is actually one of the images that showed up and how very wrong the pictures were from a size perspective. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to grab the edge of this picture and go way out with it because I want to move this picture of this little tree with the cute little pencil guy behind it. I want to move it closer to the desk. And the only way that I can do that is if it's a separate image from the rest of the picture. So I'm going to click on the picture, go into my edit, and I'm going to go over here to the Magic Grab button. Click Magic Grab. And this is the one that I want. Of course, I can't get to it. Oh, maybe that'll get to it. And grab. I should have moved it farther over so I could grab it more easily. It'll take a minute to grab it. Should have music right? Okay, now you'll see that it's its very own image because the magic grab separated it from the rest of the image. Okay, so I'm gonna close that out because I'm done with it. Now I can take this guy and move him over closer to the desk, which is kind of what I want. All right, I'm gonna slide the whole picture back this way because he has a straight edge, so I don't want him. All right. Now I have the image of the plant with my little pencil dude closer to the edge of the desk where I wanted it. Right. I'm simply just grabbing my edges like that and like that. Okay, so now I have the image that I wanted. This image was actually designed to land on a full spread, meaning that half of the picture went on one page, half the picture went on the other page. I grabbed a book for you to show you. So this is another one of the books that I did with an author. It's a number of years ago, but let me see if I have some cute well, this is definitely a full spread on the back. The picture goes to two sides. I don't know if we did any completely full spreads in here. Here's a full spread. So you get both sides of the on one plate. That's a full spread. And so that those pictures all came as full spreads. We had to split them in half. Didn't like where the bush landed. So with the magic grab, I could grab it and move it, and voila. Now it's where I wanted it to be, or at least closer to where I wanted it to be. Okay. Let's see. Here's another example of the expand tool. And I'm going to go into my edit, go to my magic expand. I think I just wanted to go this direction instead of going all the way across. I just want to put maybe some verbiage over here. So I'm going to just expand this over. Slide down to magic expand. You do notice that you can make them different sizes and shapes, or you can make it the whole page if you'd like, and it will expand for the whole page. I haven't tried using the whole page on this one, so just because I'm going to try it, and you're going to get to see how that works. It's not always 100% perfect, just so you know, but let's see what they come up with in the Magic Expand for whole page. Now, if you're a graphic designer, you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, well, this is so much easier in Adobe or InDesign or whatever it is that you use. That is probably true, but you are trained to use that, and we are not. And super overwhelming if you're trying to figure that one out on your own. Okay, so now we're back in here, and now it completely filled it in. Goes edge to edge and all the way down to the bottom. So it created a full page out of something that wasn't before. So now, of course, I can still move the picture around and manipulate it if I want, but that was what I was after, was getting it all filled in. Okay, so I also want to show you another cool feature. I'm going to select the image, go back to the background or to the edit. So we have a tool called Magic Eraser. And Magic Eraser lets you pick something and erase it. So you can pick it by click or pick it by brush. If you click it by brush, then you can just choose. I kind of like picking it by brush because, let me get it so you can see it better. If I want to get really close to something, it allows me to do that. So I'm going to click, do some erase here, and then erase. And it's just going to erase that speaking bubble right there. And I did that with a lot of this particular book because I didn't like the way the speaking bubble looked. So I added my own speaking bubble that had clean edges instead of fuzzy edges. That was just a personal preference. Okay, so now we've completely removed the speech bubble so that we could go into the elements if we wanted, and we could drop in a new speech bubble. I'm going to flip it around, see if it looks better this way. I'm gonna, yeah, I like this speech bubble better. And then I don't want any border lines. Oh, it's gonna make me have one. See how there's two colors right here? If you click on the borders to try and remove a border and it doesn't do it for you, that's because there's there's two colors are built into the image. So I'm gonna just go up here to the black one, click on that, change it to white as well, and then it essentially disappears for you. Okay, so now I have a bigger speech bubble, and I could move it around if I want because it's its own image, and I can make it as large or small as I need to accommodate whatever I needed to say with this particular character. Now, I'm using, of course, these are illustrations or graphics from Illustrator, but these things work equally well with regular images, just so you know that. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to show you that I get a lot of questions about is, let me go back into the edit. I haven't tried it with this picture, so this is exciting. I'm going to go to grab text and give it a minute because it just takes a minute. Okay, so grabbed all of the text. So I click on whatever I want it to grab. And if there were multiple, oh, there's another one right there. I could probably grab the word may. So any text, it recognizes it and it's going to grab it. Then I just click grab. So if you have an old graphic that you made or you have a graphic you want to remove some stuff from, you can absolutely do it this way. This one is like a grouping, as you can see. I could literally just hit the delete button and it'll just completely remove it. Or let's undo that because I love the undo button. I could take it and just move it if I didn't like where it was. Well, let's undo you, undo you. Okay, really handy tool if something isn't exactly where you want it to be and you're a little bit weird about things like that, which I am. I like things, I'm very spatial, so I like things to look just right. And if it's offset by even just a little bit, it'll make me crazy, mostly because I'm just that way. But just from a graphic eye, those things matter. Those things matter. Sometimes you look at something and it's not quite right. You may not know why it looks off or why it's not quite right, but you just can tell that it's not quite right. It's all the same thing that I say about editing all the time when I'm talking about the formatting in your book. If it's not quite right, people are like, this feels weird or it looks less than professional. So while I won't get on a soapbox too much about that professional piece, your business, ministry, cause, or brand deserves your very best, deserves good graphics, deserves things to look professional. So I'm done preaching at you about that. All right. One other thing that I do want to show you before we run out of time is, so I've selected an image again. I'm going to select edit and I'm going to scroll down to effects. Let's see what other kinds of effects. Retouch. I don't think that's going to show up on this one. All right. I need an image, I think. We'll just use Courtney. So this is actually the author of this sweet little book. And so I have her picture in here so we could use that. So I'm going to click edit again. And look at all these lovely filters. Now, depending on the color of the background that this was setting on, I could do a number of things. I can change it so that it has a different feel color-wise to it, and I can change the intensity of that particular color. You can warm it up if it doesn't look quite right with the colors of your cover or wherever you're putting this. The most common reason that I use this tool is to change it to black and white. Now, because the interior of books, unless you're doing a full color book, they are black and white. So if you put a colored image in your book, you need to convert it to black and white so that the black and white looks right. It's not going to print in full color, and the color that you get isn't going to look right. So change it to black and white first. Personally, I like the slate. Let me pick the slate here. I think the slate looks the most natural of them, but there are some other options you can play with. There's the classic. See how that looks kind of washed out or blown out? Um, yeah, I just think the slate looks the most natural of them. So that's always my first choice, but that's completely up to you if you prefer a little bit different look. And then, of course, you can do, all sorts of interesting things, which I don't know why you would do them, but you can, which is the point, right? That's one of the cool things about Canva. All right, so I'm going to put it back to none, no filters, because I'm just going to show you one more thing really quick. In case you haven't caught on to this, Canva is a place that could suck you in for hours. If you are at all inclined in a creative way, be careful that it doesn't suck you in and hours later you look up and go, oh, I've been playing in Canva for, 3 hours or whatever, because I promise you it does happen. Happens to me anyway. Okay, so let's go in one more time into the Magic Studio, which is this top one here, and click Background Remover, BG Remover. I just want to show you how that one functions. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted you to see it in action. Okay, so now we literally have the background is gone. And if I wanted to, I could save this image. And I do this actually a lot with things. I'm going to make it larger. I could save this image, download it as a PNG, and click Transparent Background. Now I don't need all of them, so I'm going to unclick all those. I just want this one right here. Done. And I could click download. Now this will download this particular image for me with a transparent background as a PNG that I can throw wherever it is that I think that I want to throw it. I'm not sure if the screen will follow me as I look at it or not. So let's open it and see if it does. It doesn't. That's all right. So I just saved it onto this computer and it is a transparent headshot. That's all that it is. So, and then I can take that headshot wherever I would like and drop it on whatever background I've liked. So, for instance, if I had a solid color background, I could drop that onto that solid color background and we would see, I was looking to see if it was on, it's not on the back of hers. So, I was going to show you how cool it would look, but it's not there. But I could drop it on a solid color background and it's going to look like she's just sitting right on top of it. There's no white background. It's a great way to put text around things. Just a great tool to be able to remove the background from many things. I often do it if I'm trying to isolate something in the picture and I don't want the rest of the picture to show up. So, okay, there you have it. Some of the coolest tools that you can now, coolest things you can now do with Canva, removing the background, grabbing things, moving them around, erasing things. Oh, one more thing. I'm almost out of time, but I thought this was the coolest. All right. Last thing I'm going to show you here. So back to the picture. When this came back resized, you'll notice this little guy right there. He was not in the original and he has no legs. And so the author was like, he looks weird. Let's get rid of him. So I said, okay, click edit. I'm going to magic grab him. Easier than erasing when you're grabbing an entire item like this little guy. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab him. See, I clicked and grabbed him. I'm going to go grab. It's going to remove him from the rest of the image because we don't want him there. I don't have the ability to add legs for him in here, but I do have the ability to remove him. So rather than going back to the designer and saying, hey, you forgot the legs on this guy, we opted to just get rid of him. Okay, so now that I've selected him, you can see that he's shown up as an independent item there. So now I can just delete him and he's gone. Voila, magic. It's just like magic, isn't it? So there you have it. Some of the cool new things that you can do in Canva. And because I get so many people asking about all the cool things you can do in Canva, I am creating a whole bunch of new video for you all around how to use Canva. It will, of course, be included in the Savvy Author membership. If you're interested in being in the membership, I want to tell you just really super quickly about the Savvy Author membership. It is the first of its kind program to help you with the creation of your book. So it gives you the full blueprint of how to create your book so you can end up with a successful book when you're done. So professional guidance to help you along the way, not just myself, but we have a Canva queen there and we have another editor to help you. It's all about getting your book out of your head onto paper, edited, formatted, and published out to the world. All of those pieces. And then, of course, the Canva piece that we're talking about today, that is going to be in there as well. I'm just going to drop it right into the membership if you're interested in that. If you're just interested in the Canva only, training, you can also grab that if you'd like. You just drop me an email over at hello@clararose.com and I'll send you a link so you can hop into that training. It's all sorts of deep dive into the cool things that you can do with Canva. And I think that anybody who is the creator of the content for social media, marketing, all those pieces, if you're not a designer and you need a tool that will do all of the things that you need to do, Canva is your friend. Canva is for you. And I'd love to have you join me in the training if you're interested. Okay, we're just about out of time, but I do want to encourage you. If you're thinking about being part of the Savvy Author membership, it is open and ready for you. Hop on over to craftingyourmessage.com and learn all about it. There's a whole link there that will just take you through all the bits and pieces that you can get from the Savvy Author membership and how you can sign up. Then, of course, if you are more interested in somebody ghostwriting for you, where all the heavy lifting is done for you, there is also information there about that. And then co-writing is the other option. So we can do the work for you, we can do the work with you, or you can join the Savvy Author membership where we do it together as a community. Of course, there's a writers community built in and all sorts of accountability, which makes it truly so successful. All right, my friend, there you have it. Another Coffee with Clara Rose where I'm bringing you some knowledge. Thank you so much for showing up once again to support my channel, to support what I'm doing. And thank you for all the kind comments that I get from you. If you'd like to learn more about what I have to offer, do hop over to my website and hop on my schedule. We can set up a Zoom call and talk about if the Savvy Author membership or if ghostwriting or even co-writing is for you. Co-writing and ghostwriting are by invitation only. We do have to have a conversation first because not every project is a good fit for us and we might not be a good fit for you. So hop on over and grab a Zoom call and we can chat about it. I am totally out of time, but thank you so much for showing up once again. I will see you next week. Same time, same place.